This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 10th of May 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Star, painful shame of our referral hospitals, MPs. The Standard, Uhuru hand in Ruto cancelled Mount Kenya rally.
Yeah.
And Daily Nation, horror of the killing fields of Matungu.
Wow.
Okay, I say we start with this cancelled rally.
Yes.
Standard.
I am going to go opposite from what everybody else has been saying.
First tell
Who's
us what
everyone?
everyone else has been saying, and then you can negate it.
Because people have been saying that, why is Uhuru being so insecure? All right? I mean, regarding this rally, I think there was an interdenominational prayer rally, prayer whatever,
Meeting.
function that
In
was to happen
Murang'a.
in Murang'a. And it was to have about 130 MPs.
Okay.
Right? That's a huge number. Now, my thinking is, why would Ruto go to Uhuru staff, right, unannounced, and host his Uhuru's MPs,
Yes.
have a meeting? I am sure he knows the undertones, the political undertones of that meeting. They would, in my view, coronate him to be the next person after 2022, after Uhuru.
And I agree. When we talk about the 48 laws of power,
Yes.
the first law,
Yes.
never outshine your master.
That is true.
Yes.
Because it says that
Yeah.
if you do outshine your master, you go around displaying your talents, then
Right.
what you do is that you do the opposite. Instead of showing yourself to be brilliant,
Yeah.
you'll inspire fear
Yes.
and anxiety,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you will end up being
Yes.
finished.
But on the flip, this man is so powerful that he may need some cushion from the president directly or indirectly not to attend that rally or whatever it is.
Tuam, can I ask you a question? You said that you have a contrary opinion. What was that opinion?
Yes.
I don't think you told us,
No, it was a flip,
but you didn't give us the flip.
but I have now.
No, you
No,
still
you
haven't.
still haven't.
See-
So you said that everyone is saying that Uhuru should be insecure.
What I said was this, and this is my flip.
Okay.
This man, William Ruto,
Yes.
could easily be president in 2022.
Okay.
If he can attract 130 MPs,
Yeah.
right?
Out of 300
out of
and
349. And here's my point as well. Should an impeachment on Ruto, and this is where I was going, should an impeachment on Ruto happen, assuming the 130 MPs are with him, that is 349,
It's almost a third.
130, 219 MPs, you just miss
Okay.
the 233 threshold by
Threshold, yeah.
14 MPs.
All
Telling
right.
you it will not go through.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that he secured his position
Yeah.
as DP.
His point to boss, or to President Uhuru Kenyatta,
Yeah.
he's telling him, look, I have a battalion behind me. There's nothing you can do
As
to
he
me.
breaks rule number 1.
Yeah.
I say we toss this headline for
Yes.
this reason,
Yeah.
and I will invoke our 3-part criteria that we use to break down the headlines for you. We
Yeah.
ask ourselves 3 questions. Is this headline topical or is it speculative? Is it
Topical.
repetitive and is it groundbreaking?
Yes.
And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy?
Right.
So I don't think it's thoughtful. It's the second time they're cancelling it.
Yeah.
And they should have given us the intrigues, aside from telling us the fact that the rally was cancelled.
Yes.
So,
Agreed.
but before we toss this,
Yeah.
I do have to note, yesterday we had a headline that
Yes.
spoke to the woes. In fact, it was our winning headline.
Daily
Yeah.
Nation. Yes.
Saving Joaquin Ndungu, and now
Yes.
she's off the hook.
I think they listen to us.
But I have to say that it's great. I'm happy. I like Joaquin
Yes,
Ndungu.
we
She's
love
one
her.
of
We support
our
her.
favorite judges
Yes.
at the Fifth
We toss.
Estate.
Of all the
Toss.
dissenting opinions, the one that had proper English, because I was seeing someone trying to read, impregnable.
Okay, between JB Ojwang and Joaquin Ndungu, both of them had excellent English, but we do like them.
All right. Moving on.
Painful shame. No, let's deal
look at the
with the
nation.
horrors first.
Yeah.
Let me deal with this very macabre story, then we
Yeah.
can go
The
to
Daily
a lighter
Nation.
story.
Horror of the killing field of Matungu.
Yeah.
This story disturbed my soul.
Yes, it did. The story itself.
The story itself.
Very, very explicit. I felt like I was in that story. 2 pregnant women were killed. There was a target on my head.
Let me ask you, do you think and it's a dangerous thing I'm saying.
Yes.
Do you think we are becoming a little bit subhuman? You see, now, these guys, they go and cut someone on the side of the neck, on the right side of the neck, right? There are other people who are cutting up people with axes, you know, for absolutely stupid reasons.
Yeah.
I think the level of violence has become macabre to some degree. And we have normalized it.
Yeah.
This is becoming normal.
Yes, it's become normal, but I have to ask, who do we blame? I feel like the blame goes to the state, because I feel that the state has a level of responsibility in protecting me as
and
a
I think
citizen
that's a good point.
This.
I think we need to ground this in some of the work that we do. Because we are not journalists. We are primarily researchers, right?
Yes.
And there's a book that we published. Monopoly to Oligopoly of Violence. And in this book, we discuss distance decay, but we also discuss two concepts. State absence and state abstinence. And I think we would argue in this case that this is an instance of the state abstaining from its responsibility to its citizens.
I completely agree with you. Kakamega is not Lodwar or Marsabit, right?
Yes.
It's a thriving county and that kind of thing. If these attacks happen 10 meters away, or is it actually about a couple of meters away from a police station, and they're allowed to happen, it's not because the state is not...
they're not absent. The state is present.
Yes,
they are choosing to abstain.
Absolutely, you know. And within that book that we have published here, Monopoly to Oligopoly of Violence, we have a finding that says that the closer you are to a police station, the higher the chances of you being attacked.
Yeah. The irony, right?
The irony of it.
It is very ironic. I have to say, though, that we take issue with the headline itself.
Oh, yes.
And I say that it is an excellent headline. And it would probably have benefited from a little bit of editing.
And so what are we going to do? We're going to edit it for them.
Okay, but before we do it, there is something characteristic of what these guys are, from my readings here. These guys go and chop the right side of their, and they don't steal anything. They even pull out tanks. Now, I don't know whether you guys remember a group called Sabaut Land Defense Forces. SLDF.
Very, very clearly.
Yeah, homed in Mount Elgon. And they were led by a guy called Matakwe. Do you know what those guys used to do? They used to chop off ears. Right? They don't take anything from you. They go from village to village, chopping off right ears and that kind of thing. I would think maybe these 42 brothers, whatever they are called, is an offshoot of SLDF.
It's possible they're an offshoot of SLDF, and it kind of reminds me of Hannah Arendt's book, The Banality of Evil, where you kind of legitimize and you make it so normal for you to kill others. I say we toss this headline
with a
revision.
All right.
So it would be the winning headline if they had just edited it just a little bit.
And the edit we're going to make is, instead of horror of the killing fields of Matungu, our headline is the killing fields of Matungu. Horror. Full colon horror. Yes.
The Star, painful shame of our referral hospitals, MPs. I'm really, 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 really tired of these stories. Yesterday, it was all of the horrors of education. Today, it's a culmination of all of the horrors in the medical industry.
But look, I don't want... I think for the first time, I am seeing a parliamentary committee doing its job. Parliament is elected by the people so that it can front the people's problems upwards. Look, I have always told you people, if I was Uhuru Kenyatta, and sadly I am not, I would focus on the big one, and the big one is health.
All right.
Before you throw it, there's where somewhere I'm going here, guys. Allow me to say it. You see, privatization of health, in my view, is key. Wait. You see, government, in my view, cannot run health as at now. Please don't throw it.
I'm not moving it. No, we're not moving it.
Government,
the big one.
I think we have gotten to the maximum of handling the health sector in this country. We should allow private hospitals to manage hospitals, and they will see them as markets. And the value and the way that private hospitals deal with people is much better.
We will not have any more painful shame.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. Fantastic point.
Therefore, toss the headline. On to our next segment, the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. And just like the headlines, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down the cartoons for you. We ask ourselves 3 questions. Is the cartoon humorous or is it dry? Is it satirical or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy?
Let me explain this. Right? South Africans have just had an election. And it would seem the ANC is still in the driving seat. And in this Ozone cartoon, you have ANC holding the hand of a small baby, and they've written it loyal baby. But they have a small caption inside, an insert thing. They give birth, the royals give birth.
The royals, they give birth. I love it. Meghan and Harry had their first child, a son.
A black baby. And
we note.
I saw that child. That child looks so beautiful.
I don't think I will ever forget the image of the Queen of England standing next to a person with dreadlocks. I don't think
the mother.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
All right, but this cartoon is awful. This is the definition of just plain lazy. How can you connect 2 unrelated things in order to make a cartoon like this?
Loyal baby and royal baby.
Yes, maybe South Africa is a young country. Fair enough. But what does a loyal baby have to do with a royal baby? Is it a play on words because of the R's and the L's?
I agree with you to some extent. But I also want to put some context in this. You see, the ANC has been in power for such a long time. But they've been facing a little bit of opposition from a party called...
As they want to do.
The EFF. So and it was expected that the EFF would push ANC out in this
But what does that have to do with the royal baby? There's no connection.
And that's why I said I hear you. But loyal baby is the baby born in 1994.
Let's look at the Daily Nation, because father and son, Dula and Ozone,
so another...
we're dealing with a similar issue.
Yes.
Is this clever for you now?
So maybe you like this one better.
we've said that Ndula is the teacher, is a master, and Ozone is the student.
Yes.
Is Ozone peaking?
No, I don't know. Sometimes you can have an issue that is so prevalent that you both pick it and look at it from different angles. And here you have the ghost of Nelson Mandela holding on to a very small Cyril Ramaphosa whose feet cannot reach the pedals of the car he's attempting to steer. And the ghost is saying, let's get back on course.
I don't like this cartoon.
Either.
Same here.
They're both terrible.
Yeah, favorite pastimes, you toss it.
Okay, for once you agree.
That was quick. All right, finally.
This I like.
All right.
I don't know.
This I like. But before I analyze it, let me give you context.
Explain,
right? Caricature of Wanjiko, or who I assume is Wanjiko. Split screen, one she's saying a lot of explicit, whatever it's called. Actually, the shilling is overvalued. Nonsense. I'll tell you who is overvalued.
These guys.
And these guys, William Ruto, or caricature of him, in a Kalasinga hat. The prince.
Yes.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
In his crown.
In his crown. And the man in the orange uniform.
Orange pajamas,
Orange pajamas, Raila Odinga. And
wait, there's something down there.
Yes, Wanjikonomics.
I love that.
And I think it's brilliant. You see, if you're going to walk to the normal man on the street and you say the shilling is overvalued, they probably don't understand what
it doesn't affect their everyday life.
But then they will tell you, because they don't know overvalued, they will say 1,000 shillings today, what it would buy you would not buy you.
What is not what it would buy you.
It is not what it would buy you. You understand
Years
me?
ago,
right? And I'm of the school of thought of this. First, GOK needs to protect itself, because should you let market forces run, and I know CBK alters the shilling. If you let market forces run and the shilling goes to 130 shillings, your debt profile will be sickening. All our external debt is denominated in dollars.
Exactly.
We will owe the world so much more, 30% more than, and who knows what will go thereafter. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
To Mnomics, do you agree with Wanjikonomics, or can we toss this?
That's a good question.
We're tossing it.
Maybe.
I helped you.
Maybe yes, I do agree with her.
And what is our final thought?
Wait, hold on. Can I please announce?
Oh, yes.
That for the first time in history, the winning headlines goes to us, the fifth estate.
Oh, yes. Yay, we get our own clap. I love it. Okay.
We should start a newspaper.
I do have that final
I would be on
question.
the headline every day.
Oh gosh.
For those of us who love ourselves, I don't know about blowing your own trumpet. What is our final thought?
And now, our final thought. It is inspired by a book entitled David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. And the caption there is Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants. Now, let me give a small summary of how I understood this book.
Then I'll give a big summary.
All right? And I read it from somewhere. All right?
Okay.
And like Gladwell says, that the powerful and strong are not always what they seem. That there is a set of advantages that have to do with material resources. But they are a set that have to do with the absence of material resources. In sum, what gives a giant its strength can also be its greatest weakness.
Yep.
Junie.
Yes.
All
right.
TJ.
Let me give my summary, right?
Please
so
do.
I'll add on to what Tuem has said. So sometimes, in what he speaks about in the book, sometimes what we think is an advantage can become a disadvantage, and vice versa. And what you think is a weakness can become your biggest strength.
Right.
So of course this pulls on the biblical story of David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Tuem, I think there was some details you were giving us about the story in the Bible.
Yeah.
How there were three.
Oh, yes.
There were three
units in the
in the
enemy's
army.
army.
Yeah.
So you have the infantry, the cavalry, and the snipers.
Yes.
And so David fell.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm taking your point. Go ahead.
No, it's not even that. What you reminded me was actually the story
Oh, okay.
of David and Goliath.
I mean, it would not be proper
let
for you
me
to say the title and not give us the
absolutely,
story.
Take us to church.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You see,
Preach, preacher.
Goliath was this heavy guy, right?
Yes.
He was huge.
Yes.
But he was huge because he had a certain condition, right? Like elephantitis. So his
First tell us
legs.
the story before you deconstruct.
So just wait. He was a huge guy.
Okay.
All right, but he had certain weaknesses. He couldn't see so far. His eyesight was a bit messed up. All right, and he was a soldier. In fact,
Yes.
he was so huge he actually handed over his shield and his spear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then there was a small guy called David. You see, what Juna said is there were three guys: infantry,
Cavalry,
and snipers. David was a sniper.
Yep.
But the snipers then did not use guns. They used slings. Right? So guy could just put a sling, like those guys in Kibera, the way they do like this, and point it and
With precision.
precision.
Yep. Hit
So
its target.
he was hit once over here. That Goliath.
Exactly. So the point why Malcolm Gladwell uses this story is that the perception was that because Goliath was so big,
Yes.
that his strength was going to ensure that he won the battle.
Yes.
But in fact, it was David's weakness that he turned into his strength that allowed him to win.
Absolutely.
So
Can we then say it's a matter of perspective?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Because the Israelites were standing from a vantage point in which Goliath looked really, really big and really, really strong.
Yeah.
And
comparison.
David looked really, really puny and tiny
Yes.
as he went against this giant.
Yeah.
And that what Malcolm Gladwell has shown us is that if you go back into history and use research and look at Goliath for who he truly was, then you'll see what Kevin is saying.
Yeah.
He was really big. We
Yes.
know from research that any person who grows too tall will suffer from certain anomalies.
Exactly.
They'll have tumors that
Yeah.
will hinder their sight.
Yeah.
So that's why if you go to the Bible story, he asks David, why are you coming at me? Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? He couldn't see.
Yeah.
And he was so big
Yeah.
and so humongous,
Yeah.
and they thought that was an advantage. But to David,
Yeah.
with his precision,
Yeah.
with his ability to hunt, we all forget the stories. He
Yeah.
single-handedly killed a lion,
Yes.
single-handedly killed a bear. Those were advantages.
So I'd say the biggest lesson from the book is that Malcolm Gladwell argues that trying to play the Giants game
Yeah.
is rarely successful.
Yes.
In order to win against the Giants,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Davids of the world
Yeah.
need to adopt different strategies.
Yes.
So most of the time, underdogs don't fight like Davids. They blindly accept the rules of the game and play to their disadvantage.
Yes.
But like we keep saying, and as Prof likes to say, do not think inside the box.
Yes.
In fact, there is no box.
box.
Do
Yes.
not use the box as a frame of reference for how you should behave and tackle issues.
Yeah.
And he gives an example
Yeah.
of a basketball team that was
yes.
full of white girls,
Yes.
blonde white girls who
Yes.
have no idea how to play basketball. In
Yeah.
fact, they were a horrible team.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were
And
losing.
they were being coached by
Yeah.
the father of one of the girls,
Yeah.
worse yet,
Yeah.
an Indian
Yes.
from Mumbai who had no
Never
idea
played
about
basketball.
basketball.
Yes.
He was better at cricket than he was at basketball.
And tech.
And tech, yes. He was from the Silicon Valley and he made a lot of money there.
Yeah.
So he looked at his team, understood the rules of the game and realized they can't play the game the same way.
Yeah.
So he used what they use in basketball, in conventional basketball, in the last 1 minute of the game, which is what they call a full court press.
Yes.
So you play the whole court.
Yeah.
But now he took this for the entire game.
Yeah.
Because if they do that, then his girls didn't need to learn strategy.
Yeah.
All his girls needed to do was run.
And tire
keep
out
running.
Tire out the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we can look at this as if we ground it into our own context.
Yeah.
Highness, hustlers and dynasties.
Yes. So the dynasties look like the Goliaths.
Yes.
They have history, they have money, they have names.
Yeah.
And the hustlers are the new guys,
Yes.
the underdogs.
The
Yeah.
Davids.
All they have is the skin of their teeth and the rags on their back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we looking at them from a wrong vantage point? I don't know.
You know, I've been thinking this before you just say what you have to
Go
say.
ahead.
Malcolm Gladwell says the advantages of disadvantages and the disadvantages of advantages.
Yeah.
And I go back to 2002.
Yes.
There was a dynasty conglomeration. You know, there was a convergence.
Yeah.
Moi supported the son of Jomo.
Yes.
All right. But then there was a force of a mixture of hustlers and dynasties then. And nobody had seen this kind of
Situation before.
formation before.
Yeah.
All right. And the mixture came up on top. Now, it seems now that the lines are drawn. You have the hustlers on one side,
The
and the
dynasties.
dynasties have ganged up on one side. But I also want to say this. Maybe the dynasties are not Goliath.
Okay.
And the hustlers, you know, are not David, because we seem to see the dynasties as the biggest and the hustlers.
And the
as-
hustlers are the underdogs. Yeah.
So maybe this is a fight upside down. You know.
What I will say is this. Malcolm Gladwell says in his book that what is learned out of necessity is
Yeah.
inevitably more powerful
Yeah.
than what is learned or that what comes easily, what you learn easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that the hustlers in this instance have learned all the things they've learned out of necessity. And you know what that does?
Right.
Yeah.
That gives them, remember our old book?
Yes.
Skin in
In
the
the
game.
game.
Skin in the game.
I love that. And when you say that, I remembered one thing.
Yes.
There is he's spoken about the guys in Harvard. You know, advantages of disadvantages of advantages. And they said, he said, if you are in the lower cadre kind of schools,
Yes.
right, and it was a big fish in a small pond and a small fish in a big pond, and so the big pond is Harvard and everything,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So
any Ivy League school.
yes, so if you came from a school called Gasharage and you went to Harvard.
Yes, then you'd be in
Gasharage.
Gasharage. You
Yes.
are a small, a big fish,
yeah,
a big fish in a
Gasharage.
small pond.
Yes, and you are a big guy. You got 100 out of 100. You know, you are an A
You're
student.
killing it, yeah.
And then you went to Harvard. You would feel small.
You became a small
Right.
fish in a big pond.
Yes, but chances are the guy in Gasharage would work 5 times as hard. He would publish 5 times more, and he'd probably make it in life probably even better than the guy from Harvard.
Because he has something to lose.
He has
Yeah.
something to lose.
He
Yes,
has
skin in the game.
In the game.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think that today we've had a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
Right.
We've also had a very interesting winning headlines,
Yes.
in which the winning headline belongs to the winning headlines
the fifth
show,
estate.
inspired by the Daily Nation.
Yes.
Have skin in the game, and sometimes the disadvantages that you think you have are equal to the advantages you think your opponent has. Have
Amen.
a great weekend. See you next week.